Hello Pisces, this is going to be your bonus reading for the rest of July 2018. I'm going to do love and relationships, and then career, jobs and money, and then health. And so I'm going to start shuffling the cards. This is in the best, highest good for Pisces rising, sun and moon sign for love and relationships. Okay. Pardon me for being quiet. I'm just kind of feeling quiet right now. Love and relationships. This should be interesting to see what comes out because your general reading had so much to do with partnership in it. Partnerships of all kinds, but I definitely got something in there about love too. All different kinds of love. There was definitely romance in there as well. If you haven't watched that yet, you may want to. Okay, 6 cards. And I may pick more, it just depends on what comes out. Alright. Wow. I'm going to pick one clarifier. There's something in here. Two clarifiers. Oh, there go the sirens again. Okay. First card on the top. The Ace of Pentacles. Second card on the top. Princess of Pentacles. I pulled 2 clarifiers for that. So we'll get into it in a minute. Third card on the top. The 4 of Wands. Again. And there you are, you guys. This is you. The Knight of Cups. This card has come up in everybody's reading practically, except for I think Taurus. And it tried to come up with someone else, but I put it back in. It's kind of like fishing. Putting the fish back in the water. Interesting. Okay. Second one. 6 of Swords. Second one on the bottom. Final card on the bottom row, the Lovers. This is extremely significant. And the two clarifiers for the middle card on the top, which is the Princess of Pentacles. Two cards came out. Again, the Princess of Swords and the Six of Pentacles. Okay, I'm going to try to read this in as many ways as I can, but I may end up picking another reading for other Pisces people that this is not happening for. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay. First combination, which is your past position, is the Ace of Pentacles with the Knight of Cups. Now there's airplanes. I'm going to try to be loud enough for you to hear me. I can't do anything about the background noise. I'm in a smaller city right now. I'm actually in Arlington, Massachusetts. It's near Cambridge. And there's just my aunt's apartment building is on Mass Ave, which is a major street, and there's nothing to be done about it. It just is what it is. So, in the past, you met someone that carries your own, my goodness, you guys, I'm going to let that one pass, if it will pass. There it goes, it's going away now. Okay, you met someone, perhaps that you didn't expect to meet. They just kind of came out of the blue. Or they swam in your vicinity, and the minute you met each other and saw each other's eyes, you just knew that there was something significant there. It could be, I mean, obviously this is for a romance, partnership, love reading, but I'm almost feeling like this goes deeper than just romance. It's even more meaningful than just relationships or romantic relationships. This goes deeper than that. It's almost like you've been longing for each other for a long time, and then you actually met. With the Ace of Pentacles, this represents solidity or stable new beginnings. This isn't going anywhere. Whether or not something works out on a romantic level, I feel like this is a significant alliance that will continue to be with you for possibly even the rest of your life. Whether it starts off as a romantic relationship and then turns into a deep soul connection with friendship, or whether it continues to be a relationship. In a way, I'm getting that it doesn't really matter. It's significant, highly significant, and extremely healing. Perhaps you feel this way just in general, or have been feeling this way. You felt this coming. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. I feel like I said everything I was supposed to say. Traffic. Okay. Currently, there goes the garbage trucks now. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I may even have to close the window. Okay. Currently, an idea is formulating in you about the significance of this alliance. It could be it could be that you have a common destiny, or you have something that you are supposed to accomplish together. And part of what you have to accomplish together that you will learn as you go, because you have never encountered anything quite like this before. And so there is no real way of knowing exactly what you two are capable of together. But I feel like there's a common destiny or a common purpose that you have come together for, that involves a new way, or a new something. Maybe it'll come in a little bit. It definitely has to do with moving on from conflict or pain in the past. Perhaps together you can heal more powerfully than if you were doing this on your own. You're almost like a guide for each other, or a guidepost for each other, or it's not coming on the exact words. The spirits brought this union together, and by union, I mean it in every sense of the word, not just romantically or sexually or it's not just in a mundane sense. This has a higher purpose to it. Like I said before, there's something in here saying, even if it doesn't continue as an actual relationship, I have the feeling that you will never really truly leave each other's lives. You'll always be together from here on out, whether in the spirit realm or in the physical realm, or both. And I'm getting something about parting and then coming back together, and parting and coming back together. It could be that you have come together for laying a groundwork for future generations. There was something about that in the general reading too. This seems really particular for possibly, obviously this isn't going to make sense for all of you. This is a very large story or large concept I'm talking about, but this is definitely being said for somebody. In which case, I feel like you already know this, and this will be validation. This is a miracle that you've needed. You've needed this miracle for a long time. I feel like you care very much about where things are headed. Just in general, for the world, for other people, for future generations. Perhaps you've been concerned on where things are headed. But something about this alliance or this romantic relationship has a much bigger purpose than just for the two of you to be together. Perhaps that's why I said something about twin flames in that first reading. And perhaps that's the reason why I'm getting that it doesn't really matter whether this relationship continues as a romantic relationship. You've come together for a specific purpose. You generate more power together for this than you would apart. There's more to this than meets the eye, and you know this. You know this. So I think that's all I really need to say about that. Something about saying the words best, highest, good is really powerful in a way, because it's not just words. It's an invocation, and I feel like saying those words brings out larger storylines or bigger concepts than just mundane, personal, specific things. That will come out too for the people that need to hear those. But I feel like there's something bigger that needs to come out of my mouth for you. I don't really know why. You know more than me. So the reason why I consider this such a significant partnership is that you have these two cards together as your future. And this is also part of the reason on why I'm saying you will never really part. Even if you part physically, once you've met each other, you will never really be able to part from each other. You will empower each other and hold each other up, even when you're apart. Even if the relationship doesn't work out, you are still united. This is a really powerful reading. So there is some kind of a choice involved, perhaps. You may even be with someone else. You may be in an existing relationship, and something about meeting this person has made you encounter a choice, perhaps to choose one relationship over another, but that's not necessarily the case. I'm just throwing that out as a possibility. But I feel like it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter whether you choose to stick with what you have now if you are in an existing relationship, because there is no conflict here or no competition involved here. I feel like the two of you are very high vibration people with a lot of empathy and compassion, and it's not about you. It's not about necessarily your own needs. It's not necessarily about that. It's about what you can do together. And I feel like if you are with a partner and you do meet this person, I feel like your partner will understand and will sense on some level that there is no competition here, or there is nobody in this situation that will try to take from anyone else. This is really high energy, you guys. Really high vibration, angelic energy involved in this. That's one way that I'm reading, or one message that I'm getting here. For others of you, this may very well end up being a major choice where you may have to let go of something in order to pursue something. Or if you're not in an existing relationship, this is a significant possible relationship that will continue to last over time. But it definitely has to do with uniting, reuniting. Perhaps this, in some cases, this may even be somebody that you have met in the past that you never even, you knew that there was something you felt, but maybe you reunited, or you saw each other again after a period of time. And all of a sudden it hit you that this is something extremely significant. Perhaps in the beginning you didn't even recognize this. But there is a potential for the two of you, between uniting your energies, to create something even more powerful than you would have thought possible on your own. Laying of a groundwork on multiple levels, not just physical, like laying down a structure or laying down rules for the relationship. What am I getting? Laying down a foundation that is solid on multiple levels: physical, emotional, spiritual, mental. Wow. I think that's all I can really say about that. So I pulled two clarifiers for this particular card. The Princess of Pentacles. I pulled these two cards. I feel like because you have been channeling, without maybe even knowing it, important messages for other people, especially this past month for some odd reason. This is bringing you earthly support. People are recognizing that you are helping them significantly, and so they want to give back to you in one way or another. If you need monetary help or funding, or if you need to manifest something physical in order to make this happen together, because you guys definitely have a common purpose that you're supposed to fulfill together. You set this up before you were born. I'm almost feeling like you guys share the same soul, or are so close in soul energy that you almost feel like the same person in a certain way. You may come from totally different backgrounds. There may be a huge age difference. There may be, I don't know where the heck this is coming from. This feels really significant and particular. Even if it's just for one person watching, I feel like this is really important for you to know. If you need anything in order to get started with your purpose that you have come here to fulfill together, you will receive it. And part of how you will receive it is from all of the people that you have helped unknowingly by the things that you have told them or channeled to them. Wow. Okay. I feel like I got transported someplace there. I mean, that happens for me normally, but that felt really significant. Okay, for Pisces people that are like, what the heck are you talking about? I'm going to pick some different cards for you in case there's some other things that are going on for you that have nothing to do with that. What about the other Piscean people? Pisces, rising sun and moon sign, love and romance. What else may there be for them to hear? Okay. First one, I'm not doing 6 cards, by the way. I only picked 3, but I picked a couple of clarifiers for the last one. The first card out of the 3 is the Empress. The second one is the 7 of Pentacles. The third one is the 5 of Swords. And the clarifiers that I picked to go with it. There it is again. The 3 of Wands and the Knight of Cups, which is your energy. I'm getting that in the past you did have something, whether it was an existing relationship or an existing relationship that you felt fulfilled your needs and you were comforted by this relationship, or you had a great deal of abundance together on multiple levels, or this person seemed like the person of your dreams, whether it was a man or a woman. I realize the Empress is Mother Nature and is a woman in this card, but it can be a man or a woman that you felt fulfilled your needs, or they were the embodiment of everything you have wished for. But something about it got put on hold, or it just waned where you felt as though you were waiting to see the fruitions of the things that you wanted with this person, but you felt like you were waiting too long, or it just didn't come into being the way that you thought it would, or it wasn't growing enough or evolving enough, or you just, something about it made you feel like you were waiting for too long. Or perhaps if you have been single, you have wished for this, and for whatever reasons currently you feel like you're still waiting for this. It still hasn't fully come into being yet. In the first scenario, it could have turned out that the person that you thought would fulfill you, or that you could start something stable with, ended up to be cruel with words, or too concerned with their own needs instead of the needs for both of you. They may have even possibly completely betrayed you or knocked you off the boat, where you felt like if this person was willing to make you feel as though you were drowning and they wouldn't help you out of the water, you shouldn't be with this person. You possibly got really hurt, or you are going to be hurt. I'm so sorry. That came out weird. Something, they turned out to be narcissistic, or just don't really seem to really care very much about the relationship or about you the way that you thought. But the clarification for it are these two cards, which I see you seeking something else or moving on from this situation. You have decided that no, it's not healthy, it's not good for you, you don't feel happy, you feel hurt over this whole thing somehow, and so you are willing to let it go and move on and look for what you truly long for. I don't see this as being hard for you to do. I don't feel that you are going to hold on to that relationship. If there was a relationship, I'm even getting that there wasn't a relationship. You just thought that there was going to be a relationship. And then it turns out that they didn't care about you the way that you wanted them to, or the way that you thought they would. And so the good news is that you will be able to fully move on very easily without taking that pain with you. You'll be able to let go of the disappointment and hurt and fully move on to the future and seek what your heart desires. And I see you as having a lot of positive energy or positive hope for the future, that you will be able to find this. You may have even felt something, felt a calling. Perhaps the person that you want to find is a little bit far away from you. Perhaps you're being called to go someplace in particular where you may meet this person. If that's the case, it will be backed up. You will be able to have this. You should go on that trip or go to that location, or perhaps they're coming to you. Perhaps you have wished for this person so deeply that they subconsciously feel the call, and they're being called by spirit to end up either at your location, or you're being called unconsciously to end up at their location. But either way, I definitely see you guys as finding each other. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. Hopefully that made sense to you. That was sometimes when I call in the best, highest good for people, and it does come through, almost sometimes it feels so large or so beautiful that I can imagine a lot of people would feel like, are you for real? But I definitely feel like that's true for somebody or for a group of you. Okay, let's move on. Next will be for your jobs, career, and money. Okay, let's do a short reading for jobs, career, and money for Pisces rising, sun, and moon sign for the remainder of July 2018, and possibly even going out into August, since you only have like a week and a half left. I so apologize for these coming out so late. This whole thing is new for me, and also I have a lot going on in my own personal life, and I have had to take care of things and do a lot more than I thought I would. So this is for Pisces. Jobs, money, and career. What do they need to know? I'm going to pull 6 cards. Okay, I may have to pick some other cards to go with this. Okay. First card on the top, the 7 of Pentacles. I think you got this before. The thing about, at least for me, for channeling, is that I instantly forget everything as soon as I've said it. So I recognize that I got this before, but I can't remember where it was. So your middle card on the top, the Devil. Don't get too freaked out. The final one, which is good, is the Empress. On the bottom 3, the Ace of Swords. The middle bottom, excuse me, is the 3 of Pentacles. The final one on the bottom is the 9 of Swords. I pulled a clarifier for that because I wanted a little bit more information on this, and I got the 5 of Pentacles. I also wanted to know more about the Devil, and so I picked the Knight of Swords and the 7 of Cups. So let me see if I can make sense out of this. This feels slightly complicated to me. So I was hoping this would be a quick one, but we'll see. In the past, perhaps you were not manifesting as quickly as you would have liked, or perhaps you had some kind of a brilliant idea for some way of making money, or a potential job or project or career where it just didn't seem to grow that well. It may have taken way too long to manifest, and you started to doubt whether or not you were really supposed to be doing this or not. Or the brilliant idea that you had. Perhaps you were trying to write a book, or something to do with communications, something to do with either computers or teaching or something. You know. The Seven of Pentacles here leads me to believe that you had such high hopes for this to turn into something prosperous or to produce properly, but it just didn't seem to be. It's not that it didn't work or it wasn't doing anything. It just wasn't producing as much as you would like, or wasn't generating as much as you would like. And so you started to doubt it, thinking, should I really be doing this? The middle one, presently. Perhaps it was something that would have, I'm even getting something about theater. Perhaps you were trying to act or be a dancer in a dance troupe or do something really creative that had to do with performance. Perhaps even being an artist or being an actor or being a dancer or being a performer of some kind. But maybe you got into it and you realized that the system of it or the management of it or the higher ups that run this thing, a hypothetical analogy or picture I'm getting is, if hypothetically, just as a story to illustrate what I'm saying, if you were a dancer and you joined a dance troupe and you were hoping that it would bring you good money or that you would be able to express your own inspiration and own vision for what you wanted to do, something about the management of it or whoever runs the troupe or the whatever you call it, the person in charge or people in charge had their own ideas, and so you weren't able to express what you wanted to fully because they would trim it or something about the way that they were managing it wasn't your thing. You didn't feel like you could be yourself, or you couldn't express what you wanted to. This can even be with music. I'm definitely getting some kind of art, and art being a loose term. It could even be cooking, being a chef, but something about the management wouldn't let you do what you wanted, even though if you were allowed to do what you wanted, you would have improved their business significantly. So let's look at the that was an analogy. You know what I'm saying. I don't even understand why I'm trying to explain this to you. So your clarifiers are that possibly you spoke up and you said, hey, I really need to do my thing. I really need to follow my own passions. But something about it or how they responded was extremely stubborn and possibly combative back, where they just weren't listening and they didn't really seem to care. They may have even tried to put you in your place or discipline you. And so that made you realize, okay, this isn't really what I thought it was going to be, or this isn't my dream. I want something deeper and more meaningful than this. And so you have realized that you are unhappy with the situation. And in the meantime, you may be even still in it. And you may be looking for something else in the meantime. Or you have already left it and now you are looking for something else. But for whatever reasons, the choices that you see that are available to you are not good either. But I want to tell you that it is totally possible for you to either do your own thing without having to be underneath someone else, or something else. And it may even possibly be right in front of your face and you just don't see it yet, or it hasn't arrived yet, but it's on its way, or something about it you're not seeing clearly. But I am getting a distinct message to tell you that it is totally possible for you to be able to express your talents the way that you want and to be able to create prosperity from it. It just may be that a certain opportunity hasn't quite arrived fully yet, but it's on its way. I definitely am getting that it's on its way, or that if you continue to look, you will find it. So, as your future for this, the good news about the Nine of Swords, even though it looks awful and worrisome, is that the majority of your anxieties or worries is actually in your own head, and it isn't actually in reality. And so that's the good news. And the good news is also that in the future, like I said, it's entirely possible for you to cultivate this, do this, express yourself fully, and make money or prosperity from using your own innate talents and passions in your heart of what you would like to create. The only thing getting in your way is your own mind. Perhaps something about that last situation really took away your self-esteem, or made you doubt yourself. But I'm happy to tell you that this is mainly in your own head, and you shouldn't let bozos like that get you down anyway. You know, you can totally do that. So your main worries and fears for now is that you are either running out of money, or you have no money, or you're afraid of being poor. You're afraid of not having enough. Or presently, while you are waiting for this opportunity to come, your resources or your money may be dwindling, and so you're starting to panic. But because you have the Empress as your future, I'm seeing that in the nick of time, this will be resolved, or at least you will find whatever it is, or create whatever it is that can bring you more stability and money into your life so that you have what you need. And also keep in mind, this is the worry card, which isn't always founded in reality. And your main worries is of not having enough, or staying in that place of not having enough. But that's in your own head. You can create whatever you wish. You just need to believe in your own abilities and not give up. And I totally see this as being a potential for you to actually manifest this. Follow your own passions. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do anything. Believe in your own abilities. And if you're struggling with that, ask your guides or angels or fairies or whatever you want to call it. Ask the divine or the universe for help, and they will be able to help you and uplift you and give you signs along the way to encourage you. You may even have sudden breakthroughs. So hopefully that made sense. And let's move on to your health. Hello again. This is going to be for Pisces, rising, sun, and moon sign, for your mental, emotional, and physical health. And let's see what comes out. My dear Pisces, I wish you all the best. What messages do they need to hear? Let's see. 6 cards. Okay. I actually see your health as being pretty good, but I'm amazed because in, I believe it was the Aquarius reading, for their career, they got 3 kings. They got the King of Cups, the King of Swords, and the King of Pentacles out of 6. And the same exact thing has happened for you, except slightly differently. So I'm about to show you them. The first one is the King of Pentacles. The second one is the King of Wands. The third one is the King of Cups. You only have one difference, which is that instead of having the King of Swords, you have the King of Wands instead. And it, in a way, it makes sense because being an astrologer, usually the sun is, or the inner planets, which are Mercury, Venus, Mars, are usually not very far from the sun in most people's charts. They are never very far from the sun. So there are a lot of Aquarian people that have planets in Pisces. And there's a lot of Pisces people that have planets in Aquarius. Actually, in my own family, I have 2 uncles whose birthdays are literally only like 3 days apart or something. But one of my uncles is a Pisces on the Aquarius cusp, and the other one is a Aquarius on the Pisces cusp. And so there may be somebody, some of you watching, or a particular person watching, that has both these energies, Aquarius and Pisces, in you. So I find this highly significant. It's interesting. This is in your health position. So ultimately, I see your health as being good. If you happen to know an Aquarian person, it may be that your health will be significantly, what's the word for bettered? Your health will get better by working with or being worked on by an Aquarian healer, or just simply by being around an Aquarian. Maybe something about them being empowered or uniting up with allies that empower them to follow their destiny or their path is somehow empowering your health by being around them. That's one potential here. So, okay, let's move on. I'm just amazed at that. So on your bottom 3, you've got the 2 of Wands, the Princess of Wands, and the Ace of Swords. I personally am not getting that you really have any major issues going on right now with your health at all. If you do, they're very minor and they're easily dissolved by these kings. I am getting something random in here that's saying that there may be somebody watching who is a single parent, whose main concern is with their children's health, or making sure that they empower their children or child to be able to know how to heal themselves, or what's another way of putting that? that if this child encounters doubts or problems, you want to empower your child to know that they can solve their own problems by changing their outlook or their attitude, or maybe even opening up conversations with your children over future plans that you both would have, places you want to go together, you and your child. I feel that you and your child are extremely close. I'm looking at this middle combination when I'm saying this. It's the father and his daughter. They're both the same suit. This doesn't necessarily mean that if this does ring true for you, that you are a dad with a single child, or a single parent, or you could even be in a relationship with a child, but something about your relationship with your child is highly significant and powerful, and you want to reach out and speak with them more. Maybe you're away from your child. Okay, so let me try to look at this from the beginning. So in the past, with health, you've been discovering or having new insights into how to best take care of yourself. Or you can best take care of yourself by moving on, whether it's moving on mentally, physically, spiritually, onto newer, better ways of looking at things. Your outlook is significantly changing your health situation. And this is something that's been going on in the recent past. So in the present, you may be wanting to pass this on, this knowledge or this idea or this empowerment to your children, or there may be something that you are about to begin, maybe a new regimen or a new practice with your health, possibly yoga or dance or something physical that makes you feel full of chi. This could be Tai Chi, breathing and moving. You're actively pursuing this presently, and it's significantly making you have much more energy than you had before. That's one way of looking at it. This can be also something about wanting to reach out to your children more. And when you actively do this, it improves your health. Or actively trying to help your children or child with their health. Something. In the future, you are getting much more in touch with your emotions. I mean, you are a water sign. You're already in touch with your emotions, but I feel like this is deeper, more subconscious emotions. You are becoming much more clear on what those are, or what blockages you have going on in your emotional body that hold you back. Perhaps maybe before you felt as though you couldn't talk about your emotions or what's really going on with you because you weren't sure if people would understand. But now you're feeling more empowered to be able to speak about your feelings or your messages that you're getting in your emotional body, or how your emotions affects your health, or how your mental states with your emotions affects your health, and you're becoming much more aware of this. But like I said before, I'm not getting any major I'm not getting any more major health problems from this reading. I feel like you can easily solve it by getting back in touch with yourself. Not that you've been out of touch with yourself, but getting even more in touch with yourself. So, okay, you guys, that's it. And this is the end for July. And even though these are so incredibly late, at least I'm still putting these out for July, and I am going to try my best to make sure that August's readings get out on time. Many, many blessings to you. I'll see you next time. Take care.